my God.
Oh, sweetie.
What is going on?
This is my wedding dress. In my eyes, I have one more shot at marriage, and John is my shot.
Well, that's pretty. Did John get that for you? My mom needs someone who can support her emotionally and financially. That was a very different vow renewal.
I don't think that they went through like a public affair. I did.
I sometimes don't think John can do both of those.
When I met John, I thought we'd be married today.
Right.
It was like a fairy tale. And then COVID hit. Joe, if we're staying here in the house, you cannot leave the house. When my rules weren't followed and Joe left my house, John left my house too. I took my fear, I took my aggression out, and you know, I tell you to get the out. There's been a little bit of damage done.
We've all been getting phone calls from Shannon regarding John, right? And it sounds like something bad is going on there.
It's hard with Shannon because she is calling me in crisis mode. Then I need to be there for her. But then next day, me and John are perfect. Then I have to be like, oh my God, you guys are perfect.
I was devastated that it wasn't that perfect fairy tale.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
It is what it is. Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
How's John doing?
He's good.
How long have you two been together now?
Like last week, it was a year and a half exactly.
Wow.
So yeah, a while.
Sophie mentioned that she was worried about John's ability to emotionally and financially sustain you.
Sophie is very outspoken. I'm going to say that.
Where'd she get
First
that?
of all, well, me. But that being said, there were some periods during COVID when you're locked up together for 24/7. I've clashed with John's kids and he clashed with mine.
Has your ex, David, met John yet?
I tried to introduce them a year ago and they never met. And I've never met his wife, but they've run into each other a few times. And at this point, 2.5 years in, it's just flipping awkward, you know? He won't communicate with me and co-parent. So that's hard.
How do the girls feel about getting a half sibling?
I think it's divided at this point.
Mm-hmm. It's painfully cliche.
It's painfully cliche.
Which was also your marriage, like what he did to you.
Gina Louise from Lewiston, Maine said Shannon told Kelly that drinking led to problems between her and John. In your experience, do you think drinking creates problems or highlights problems that are already there?
Absolutely.
When I called you about John, I didn't really have a lot of friends to call, so I thought I had that secure enough bond with you. You didn't call me after that. You say, oh, we've been out with Shannon and John.
We had a conversation. You called me completely lit up. And I don't even think you know the extent to what you actually said.
I was with John every single day, basically, since we first met. And I didn't know whether I was going to see him again. I didn't know whether one of us was going to get sick. It was absolutely devastating to me. But for you to talk to all these people about this grave concern for me, why wouldn't you say, hey, are you okay?
This is what it is for me, Shannon. The way you called me, it was so alarming, and you were wasted. And in my relationship, I've seen it happen with Travis. It's like you're from the past. Then
Absolutely.
When you drink alcohol, it comes out.
Okay.
And into your new relationship, unwarranted.
Okay, Miss Holier Than Thou.
I'm not holier than thou.
Well, I gotta tell you.
I'm a train wreck. I'm not saying I am.
When I walked into the finale.
And I'm not saying you're slashed all the time. I was trying to be there for you by being concerned. What is an appropriate response to somebody who calls you hysterical?
The issue is when you drink and then you call and then you say things and we do get concerned for you because we really are, Shannon.
Well, let me ask you this. Why did you say that you thought that John had a problem?
She's like, oh, well, you know, Newport's a small town and everybody talks. And I'm like, okay, well, then what is it that you've heard? And she's like, something about some golf tournament or something. And like, he was so drunk, like his dad had to come and take him.
I had a conversation with her at her house. She pulled me aside and she told me some things that hit close to home for how I was at the end when I was drinking.
John hates golf. He doesn't play golf. And he hasn't seen his father for 30 years.
I had heard from you some things.
Then call me and ask me. Instead
you had
talking.
Shannon, you would cut me out.
Do you understand that John is a businessman? Talking about John Jansen and alcohol when he has a company and he has partners. And this is not good. And it is not fair. Because to everyone here, he's been nothing but kind. And he is kind to me. And we've had arguments sparked by COVID. But we're good, and we're working through it.
Well, I want to point out, we did invite John to come
Right.
today.
Right.
He chose not to come.
He's a very private person, and it was a lot. Hadn't even seen the show
Right.
when he met me, so it was a lot for him to agree to even be in front of a camera.
Well, Ariana from Los Feliz, California wants to know, Braunwyn, if you think Shannon has a problem with alcohol.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
So, well, Shannon, what's your reaction to that?
I'm fun. I'm fun. I'm fun. But I'm not an alcoholic.